Hi there, how you doing? So here's another Wide for Success podcast episode with me, Steve Costello, and without my usual friend and colleague, Patience Modevi. He will be back next week, I think. So last time we explored how social media affects the mental health or can affect the mental health of young people. So today we're going to talk about something that might be considered to be the hardest part, the most difficult bit, and that is how to actually talk to your team about social media without it getting eye rolls, slammed doors, arguments, whatever. So let's think about why saying things like, just stop using it, doesn't actually work. You might be tempted to say to your team, okay, come on, just get off social media if it makes you feel that bad. But let's be real, that's not an option. Not really. The social lives, the sense of connection, all of that is happening right now. It's happening online. So instead of banning it or trying to encourage them not to use it, why don't we help them to use it wisely? Because that can be done. So let's start with some parental curiosity and some parental non-judgment. Because the moment that young people feel judged, they tend to shut down. A lot of adults do that too. So instead of saying, you're always on that phone, try, I've noticed you've been on whatever, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever it is, a lot. So what kind of content do you enjoy? What kind of thing do you like to watch? Or you could come in from a slightly different angle and say, I saw or I heard that this is trending. There's a lot of it going around. What do you think about it? So we're igniting a little bit of interest, a little bit of discussion. We're not closing it down. So the goal is get them talking. And for parents, listen before you lecture. So instead of long speeches about social media, who wants to hear those anyway? So instead of these long speeches about social media being toxic, why not think about planting small ideas over a period of time? Don't mention things casually. So, for example, I read that a lot of influencers edit their photos and videos to make them look good. So, ask a question relating to that. Do you think that affects how people see themselves? Generating discussion. Or have you ever noticed how social media changes what you see based on what you click on? I've got a great example of that. So I like to ride mountain bike a lot. And a few weeks ago, I needed some things for my mountain bike. So I went to an online store that I know that specializes in mountain bikes and selected what I need, ordered it, paid for it, and it was delivered. Guess what, though? For the following 48 hours or so, I received loads of advertising about that particular company, encouraging me to go and buy something. Well, I'd already been there and bought something, so I wasn't going to go back and buy something else. Not that quickly, at least. Interesting how the algorithm picks up on your behaviors, on the stuff that you're doing. So have a think about that. Get them to engage in some discussion about it. And what we're doing, we're, we're not forcing a conversation. We're trying to spark curiosity. Think about it. So let's help young people to set their own limits. They don't want to be controlled, but perhaps they do want to feel in control. So instead of you setting maybe screen time or rules relating to social media use, ask them how they want to be involved in creating some sort of balance. So you could ask questions like, do you ever feel like social media gets overwhelming? And what helps when that happens? Or how do you decide when to take a break? They may say, well, I don't really take breaks, I just keep going. So that's a good opportunity to have a discussion about how walking away for a few minutes or a few hours, whatever it might be, can actually be helpful. Helps to clear the air, to clear the mind. What we're enabling our teams to do by doing those things is to help them think critically about their habits, not simply about following your rules. What happens when you force rules? You push hard with the rules, door slams, eyes roll, all of that stuff. And we need to teach our young people to spot the red flags, spot the warning signs. Not all content on social media is bad for us. It's absolutely not all bad. There's some really good stuff out there. But yet some of it is actually harmful. So we want to help them to recognize what is and what isn't. So let's think for a minute about toxic positivity. That's when influencers make it seem as though life should always be perfect. That's toxic positivity. Or what about content that manipulates? And that would be an example of that is when creators try to guilt trip their audience into liking, sharing, or buying. That happens quite a lot. Have a look. And then there's a thing that I like to call echo chambers. That's when you're seeing a type of content that only reinforces one single perspective. And it leads people to believe that that's the full truth, when in fact, there are lots of other perspectives that may need to be considered. So we want to build resilience. I talk a lot in my work about building resilience, and I work with my clients about building resilience. But what about building digital resilience? It's as important to the other types of resilience that I talk about. We can't control everything that they see online. It would be nice if we could, but we can't. But we can help them, as I said a moment ago, to think critically. Teach them to pause before reacting. There are a lot of exercises that are fun and can help with that. So if you need to know a few of those, leave a comment, drop a message, whatever you have to do to get in touch, and we'll respond. Get them to ask questions like, is this true? And if they're not sure about the answer, they can ask you. If you're not sure about the answer, no problem. Go online, search. ChatGPT is actually useful for this. I know there's a lot of discussion about using ChatGPT or other AI. But if you ask, this was said on social media, is this actually true? It'll look for all the sources relating to that question that you just asked. And it'll give you some good things to think about, positive things, right? And I talked about taking breaks when breaks are needed as well. That's essential. And we've got to get our young people to understand that actually taking a break, walking away, stopping, pausing, breathing are all helpful little tweaks we can put into our social media use. The thing is, though, for parents in particular, talking to teens about their social media use isn't a one-time thing. It's not one of those things that we need to do because something's blown up, because their behavior has changed, because there's something wrong. It's an ongoing conversation, and it's a conversation that should be revisited quite frequently. You can do it over a cup of coffee, you can do it over a glass of Pepsi, whatever you prefer. But yet the whole thing starts with understanding, not control. Control ultimately doesn't always work. We need to keep the doors open. We need to stay curious. And our role as parents is to help our team to navigate this digital world with confidence. Now, if something's provoked your attention or you've got a few questions to ask, no problem. Leave comments, send direct message, and you will get a response. Or alternatively, if you would like to go deeper into any of these topics, let's say the how-tos, give us a shout, let us know, and we can do that with you as well. Have a wonderful day. I will speak to you again really soon. Bye for now.